I'm back, and today we're going to go over the Chimera, or actually this is a Chinese knockoff. See, the new Chinese knockoffs aren't bad. Some of them come with the metal on top, the metal push down. Some of them come with, they call this the new plastic. It's supposed to be better because it automatically pushes back up on its own. Supposedly you don't need a clip, but I'll put a clip on it anyway. The other one has, it's the pieces that stick out about that far that screw in for the compression fitting. I have one of those on an FT5 and it works fine too. I do recommend any Bowden system, no matter who makes it. I do recommend that new Capricorn tubing. It is great. Back to this. The Chinese knockoffs. The triangle pattern is, of course, the bolt pattern to mount it. Same on top, just like the E3D. I believe the original E3D had the screws to tighten the throats up on the back. Then they went to a front mount, and then finally they settled on a side mount. There's a reason. Well, there's a reason for that red mark there. There's a reason for the side mount. If this is mounted on a plate, you can't get to the screws. When they went to the front, you could get to them, but you had to take the fan off, so they went to the sides. That does work out a little better. So you can see this one doesn't have front or side. It does have back. And I had on my FT5 when I made the mount for it, I did allow for that on the mount, but I'm making a mount for an Airwolf HD 2X, and it's a little harder to do. So you can see what I did there. The red line is just a guide. I basically just put a straight edge as close to, I eyeballed it to center as I could, and then I offset it to get it more. So as long as you can get a screw in there and bite on the collars, on those throats, you're good. I did the same on that side. And what I'll do is, because this one is offset to the right a little bit, I'll drill right behind the line. What you'll need a drill bit, you'll need a tap, and a little bit of patience. This is something, the hole in this is 3mm, and I went to Home Depot and I got this DeWalt kit, which is the DWA 1450 kit. It comes with 5 taps and dies in it. You only need the smallest one. So you want the smallest drill bit and the smallest tap out of the kit, which is a 2.5mm drill bit and a 3mm tap with 0.5 threads. When you're done, it comes out to the same size as what's in this, basically, or should I say, the mounting screw. It's the same hole that's in this to mount it. So then all you need is a couple of small screws. You can put them in the side if you don't have the grub screws, and tighten them down to hold the necks. You can get one of these with the hot end on it, everything, fan throat, everything, for 25 to 30 bucks if you shop around online. I think I paid 27 for this one, and it did come with standard hot ends, which I'm using Volcano hot ends, but that's neither here nor there. So I mean, you're saving some money. This cold part from E3D I think is about $60. You get the whole thing for 20 something bucks, and if you can use it, set it one time and forget this on the back, you don't even have to tap this. This is for convenience. I'll just leave those loose or take them out and just use the sides. Okay, I mean, this tap kit's 30 bucks. Like I said, you only need a 2.5mm bit and a 3mm tap, and of course a T-handle. So I definitely recommend a drill press, some way to be able to set this and drill straight down, because you got to have a straight hole. Okay, you can do it by hand if you're careful. You can't wobble because that's a 3mm tap. I mean, you don't get much room to play with threads. Once you drill the bit, excuse me, you set this on something flat, you line it up pretty straight, and you start to turn it slowly. and you slowly turn it, trying to keep it as straight as you can, because once it starts cutting threads, it's cutting, and you don't want to off cut, because you'll end up with a loose screw or you'll strip threads later. That is aluminum. But I figured I would give you a quick how to make a Chinese even a little better. And these are great. Like I said, I got one on the FT5. I got one to test it. I mean, it was $109 to get the E3D one. It was $20, I think $7 to get the knockoff. And the Bowden tube feeds all the way down, and it goes right into the throat. Feed stops right in the throat, just like the V6s do. So that's 100%. That's the way to go. If you get the one that has the screw-in compression fitting at the top, the tubing usually stops at the bottom of that screw-in. You can take a drill bit that's slightly smaller than the diameter of this hole and just run it through there to drill that out so the tubing will pass through. I did that. That's the one I got on the FT5. Has the other fitting, the screw-in compression, and then it lets that tube go all the way down. The trick is to get that tube all the way down to that throat, and then you won't have any issues at all. If you don't do that, basically this is garbage. All this is just a heat sink to cool the hot ends. Now, somebody online made, and it's on Thingiverse, a block to go on this to cool it with water, because the regular fans, if you run volcano hot ends and you run these things up there in temp 250, 260, and you got them both going, the stock fan will not keep up. I put a higher RPM fan on mine, and it's cold. I mean, I can grab a hold of it, it's not warm. Before I did that, the stock fans, even that come with the E3D, after about 10 minutes of running, I mean, it was so hot you didn't want to hold on to it. You could, but it was uncomfortable. So I went with a higher RPM fan, solved that problem. But there you go. I'm sorry about the lighting. You know, I ain't got a lot of light right here where I'm working. It's cold outside, so I'm doing this on a makeshift table in the basement. But line you up as close to center as you can. Mark your line. If you're a little off, go to one side or the other to even it out. Do it on both sides. And I tried to keep it even with the hose on the other side, the bottom, when I dropped a little low. But, you know, that's how you do it. You don't want to go higher than that top hole, because that top hole is almost at the very top of that bottom. It's only drilled out for the throat up to here. So keep it right in line with that hole and you'll be fine. I'll drill out this side, I'll tap this, and I'll be done with this one. And then I'll switch this out for the one on the FT5, and then I'll do the one on the FT5. But I thank you for watching. Like I said, I mean, if you're doing one, you're going to have, if you buy this and that, you'll end up with $60 in it, which is still cheaper than buying the E3D, and you'll have everything you need to make it work 100%. If you're doing more than one, the price goes down, of course. Now, if you get just a 3mm tap, the drill bit, and you have a T-handle, or make a T-handle, or whatever you want to do, then of course it's going to be a lot cheaper. I had a T-handle. I wasn't for sure where it was. I'm sure it's with some of my other taps, but I didn't have a tap that small. So I just went ahead and bought the set, so I knew I had the matching bit and tap. So there you go. I thank you for watching. Enjoy.